Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And with that, we say welcome in. It's a Thursday edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And if you haven't already this week, you're going to need to grab a jacket as you make your way into work, into school this morning. It's a crisp and cool 48 degrees.
Auxiliary heat was on this morning.
Yeah, as you get going on this Thursday morning.
Prayers to those folks.
Yeah, Ian made landfall, and boy, oh boy, there is some catastrophic flooding coming on in Florida right now. Thoughts and prayers to everybody. They're dealing with Ian down there in Florida, especially in the Tampa, Fort Myers, Orlando area. A lot of water, a lot of damage going on. And once daylight comes up, we'll see a lot more of that damage. We haven't been able to see a lot of it because of it being in the dark. But we'll see a lot of that damage come up during the light time. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You want to join the program this morning, Feel free to do so.
The most amazing thing I got sent by a friend was in Fort Myers. It was down a street. A shark was swimming.
Yeah, that was the viral video of yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a bunch. There was a little ones, and then there's been some big ones just swimming down the street.
I mean, that's insane.
That's the lighter portion of it all, and people are dealing with losing homes and all that other stuff. So, that's the lighter portion of it. 256 again, 576-4977. And while it's cool outside, people are enjoying it and all that other stuff, but the heat probably on A.J. McCarron. Did you hear what he said yesterday?
Oh, yeah. He told the truth, and everybody got mad.
You think it's the truth? Here's what A.J. McCarron said yesterday. Let me refresh this here. This is what A.J. McCarron, this was a podcast, and this is what A.J. McCarron had to say yesterday.
What's going on in college? Guys really don't get a whole lot of time. I mean, you look at Parsons, for example. From what I'm hearing from my sources over there, is Parsons already been told he's done after this year.
Two questions about that. Number one, do we know, was that after the Penn State game that he was told that? And two, if you're out Auburn's AD, and that's not something I wish on you, how do you fix that program right now, AJ?
Well, the Penn State, from what I heard, brought a ton of disappointment.
Sure.
It's not the fact that they lost, because Penn State's ranked in the top 25, but it's the fact that the way they lost, it was a bad loss from them. And anytime, whether it's too much pride or whatever, but the big money people at Auburn, they look at Auburn in a whole different level than reality, right? Especially right now. So from a reality standpoint, Auburn's down here. I mean, they're a middle to lower tier SEC school. It's just the way it is. Now, they still have a Cam Newton, Bo Jackson.
Nostalgia.
Mindset behind it. And that's not the case. So I heard the Penn State was the main factor. And then I'd heard that if they lost to Missouri this past weekend, he was going to be fired on Sunday. So it's going to be interesting to see the rest of the year for them. Like, do they have a bad loss to a team, like LSU? And that just, the people behind the scenes making the decisions, did they just say, hey, it's time to cut our ties and then we'll start the search now? So it's going to be interesting. And then from the AD standpoint, like, if you're the AD or you're a guy that's an AD somewhere else or looking to be the AD there, how comfortable are you taking that job?
That's A.J. McCarron yesterday. That caused quite a stir
Well, I mean, look, nothing's been officially announced, but all he did was just put the inevitable out there that Harsin. The only way Harsin will keep this job is if somehow he finds a way to win 8 or 9 games in the regular season, and there's about as much chance of that as somebody named OB ever being back on this show. Okay, not happening. So.
You mean we're not going to send a care package to
OB? No,
we're not going to send a care package to College Station, Texas.
No, we're not. They just bought another defensive lineman yesterday, David Hicks. Up until 30 minutes before the announcement, he was all Oklahoma, and then miraculously he chooses ATM, and it was all on the up and up. Or as they would say, it's not against state law. To pay a kid a few $100,000 to come lose at Texas ATM. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, whatever. It is what it is, man. I don't look. I just barring a miracle, there's no way he's coming back. And I mean, I know it hasn't been officially announced, and AJ didn't say it was officially announced. He just said that he's been told behind the scenes that he's not coming back. And I wouldn't doubt that. People want to say, well, nothing's been officially announced. Who cares? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I guess things could change because all of a sudden, I never forget, I guess it was around 1985, Sonny Smith, Auburn basketball. He was basically told he was done. And then they won the SEC tournament, beat Alabama in the finals, and he kept his job. But that's about the only kind of miraculous turnaround that's going to happen for Harsin. He's going to have to win, at least go 5-3 in the SEC, go to a decent bowl game. And if you just watch them play, where's it going to come from? And if you look at Auburn's roster and how it's developed, and again, this is about as bad as it could have gone because they did announce yesterday via the media. It's been leaked out that, TJ Finley is out. He still has a sprained AC joint, sprained shoulder. He's not going to play at least this week. And so Zach Calzada's having the surgery. He's not going to play the rest of the season. So it's Robbie Ashford or Holden Grenier, okay?
For the foreseeable
or Gariner,
future.
I believe. I'm
Gariner,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, Holden Gariner. I mean, who's a true freshman. So that's your 2 scholarship quarterbacks, man. And it's going to be that way the rest of the year. Yeah. And so it's just even if Auburn makes the adjustments that we've talked about, where they run the zone read and they run RPOs with Ashford, he is who he is. He's not going to be an upper-level SEC quarterback. You already don't have a great offensive line. You already don't have what you would consider one of the best SEC units or SEC receiving units in the league. So, I mean, how are you going to beat teams? And you have a good defense, but definitely not a dominant one. You can't hide strap everything on their back. I just don't see how Auburn is going to win more than 4 or 5 games max. I mean, even if they upset LSU, which I don't think is beyond the realm of possibility. It's very unlikely, okay? Very. But even if they did, when you still got Georgia to play, you've got Alabama to play.
Well, it could come, and maybe, and I'll just say this. It could come this weekend against LSU, only because, and I say that because LSU, they're one game away from Baton Rouge, was against Florida State inside Caesars Superdome, and they have played their last 3 inside their home confines. They kind of improved a little bit, but this will be their first true road test. This will be LSU's first true road test. They still have some injury problems as well, does LSU. They could be down a couple bigger players for the Tigers on Saturday. I guess if you're going to get LSU, if you have a shot to win this ball game, you rather would have them earlier in the schedule because they will figure things out the more they go. But this is their first true road test. This could be, stranger things have happened in this series. If you're Auburn and you need a win, this could be your best shot.
Well, I mean, potentially.
Still an uphill battle. I get that.
Western Kentucky, but when you look at Ole Miss, you look at State, you look at Alabama, you look at Georgia. I mean, to me, it's going to be very difficult. And Arkansas. I know Arkansas is coming to Auburn, and Auburn beat them there last year, but their legit QB was playing then and played his best game of the year, Bo Nix. Probably that game and the LSU game and the comeback were his best games. Well, he's not walking through that door. He's an Oregon Duck because he thought the coaching staff wasn't very good, so he left. Let's just be blunt. That's why he left. I mean, he could have stayed at Auburn. He had his degree. He could have enrolled in grad school. He's already told folks in Eugene that his heart's still in Auburn, but he didn't stay there because he didn't trust the coaching staff. Okay? That there were several that left because they didn't trust that coaching staff. Now, they were able to convince these kids that are on the team now to trust them, and I do think these kids are still bought in. They haven't quit on them at all. I mean, they're 3-1. They got a chance to be 2-0 in the SEC. But, it's the old Mike Tyson adage. Everybody's got a plan till they get hit in the mouth. And unless something dramatically changes, these plans, these game plans, these Auburn coordinators, these Boise State guys are doing, Eric Kiesau and Jeff Smeding ain't cutting it. And I don't know how all of a sudden it morphs into being SEC level coaching. I don't think it is. And so, I don't know what jobs are going to be open in the Mountain West or whatever, but you might want to be having your antennas up because it ain't going to cut it. This is the big leagues. And I just think this head coach was a bad fit. That's why the athletic director's not there. And AJ, posed the question about the athletic director and about the climate and the boosters. But, look, Auburn's always, had booster involvement. Look, but Pat Dye got everybody lined up, and that's why the program was good. And they've had spurts of really solid football under Tommy Tuberville, under, Gus Malzahn. But, we'll see what happens in this case. I will say, I don't think that, if I'm Auburn, I'm not going to dismiss Harsin until I hire the athletic director. I mean, it's not hurting anything. Everybody's talking about, well, you can start searching. Look, everybody knows he's not coming back. Just let him coach the team. I mean, yeah. Everybody knew Gene Chizik halfway through the season, Scott, was done.
Well, yeah, when they were, they're going winless in SEC
when they were,
yeah.
just mailing it in, and that team did quit, by the way. Okay, this one hasn't. So, to me, you let the guy coach, and then you drop the hammer shortly after the Iron Bowl, and then even though I think it'll be before then, it wouldn't surprise me, if you pay attention to Justin Hokanson and some of the folks that are connected down there.
Right.
It looks like the athletic director search is maybe entering the final stages. Wouldn't be shocked if they announce something this month, and if they do, then maybe by the end of October, you see Brian Harsin gone. And maybe it is that bye week they're talking about.
This will sting just a little bit. You ready for these numbers?
Yeah.
TJ Finley, Robbie Ashford, and Holden Grenier.
Mm-hmm.
So far this season has thrown for a combined 811 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. That's the production from all 3 quarterbacks combined this season. Bo Nix, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions by himself.
And most of that damage was, as far as the mistakes, was against Georgia,
yes.
where they were overmatched. I mean, and they've played good football since that time. And, again, Bo got criticized, at Auburn at times, but – I mean, he looks like John Unitas compared to what they have.
Yeah.
I mean, and we haven't seen Zach Calzada. The last time we saw Zach Calzada up close, he looked like Brett Favre against Alabama.
That is true.
And right now, I'll just be honest with you. With what we saw out of Haynes King and what we've seen out of Max Johnson early, he still looks like maybe not Brett Favre, but maybe, I don't know, who's a mid-level quarterback.
You think if he stayed there at Texas A&M, Zach Calzada could have challenged for the starting job?
Of course. I think he's looked better than either of the other two. I mean, I know he was inconsistent some, and, But I really think if you look at his arm talent and some of the numbers he put up, he's been better than Haynes King. Haynes King has been disgustedly overrated.
Right.
And then Max Johnson's done a decent job. And again, he's just in his second start. But I just think that, honestly, he would probably be the quarterback there, But, of course, I'm sure Dirt Neck told him 6 lies.
Want to stay with that quarterback spot. Yesterday, Nick Saban, midweek press conference, as they get ready for Arkansas, was asked about the injuries or the status of Bryce Young at quarterback. Did you hear that yesterday?
He was asked about Bryce Young's status, like his health?
Yeah.
Who asked him that? I listened to the press conference, but I didn't hear anything about Bryce Young.
I thought, who did he ask about the injuries? And was I could have.
It was the injuries were about the 2 guys that are hurt, and that was Byron Young.
Oh, Byron, my bad. Yeah. Well, I really.
Yeah,
Byron Young.
Byron Young's got an ankle, and he's practiced, and so has Jordan Battle. Now he basically said it would depend on how they felt, Thursday. Into Friday, and then that's how a lot of times that's how it is with those kind of injuries. And even JoJo Earl, because he's been seen in the practice video and he's been out, with the Jones fracture to his, his foot. So, but all 3 are practicing, and we'll see if they play against Arkansas. That's about as much as you're going to get out of there, get out of Coach Saban. But again, they're practicing, and hopefully they'll play in the game, even though they might be on pitch counts. You just gave everybody a heart attack, though, Scott, on this show. Cause,
I know, I did.
You're at, what happened?
That's me. That was
now you're going to be
on me.
AJ McCarron. Everybody's going to be like, what Bryce Young, sir? Who said that?
Yeah, I totally.
I
totally messed.
You had me looking like, what?
I know.
Who?
That's how I knew. I was like, oh, crap. I think I just did that wrong.
Oh, Lord.
I just did that wrong. I know. I apologize. I was like, because I listened to it and I heard Young. I was like, oh, well, okay.
Oh, man.
All right. Woo. Yeah. But anyway, here is Coach real fast about just how the week has gone so far.
All right, so this is a really tough challenge for us, playing a really good team on the road that has really difficult offense to defend, a lot of good players, really talented quarterback who can beat you running, passing, extending plays. Their defense is playing really, really well. They got great pass rush. So, we need to have great focus on what we need to do to prepare and play well for this game because it's going to be a very difficult game for us. So, it's a great challenge for us. Obviously, we'll be able to see where we are as a team, but psychologically, I think everybody has to know this is the toughest challenge of the year.
We'll start on that side with Michael.
What's the best way to work with or prepare an offensive line to deal with a hostile environment like they're going to have in terms of avoiding the false start flags?
Well, all you can do is practice with noise. We'll do it tomorrow. We did it twice before we played at Texas. So that's all we've ever done. This is not the first time we've ever had to play, on the road with a lot of noise. More experienced players can handle it. Hopefully the preparation tomorrow will really help us, get through it and be more prepared for it.
So with that, let me ask you, how valuable then was that Texas road trip?
It should be valuable. It allowed them to see how the team plays in a hostile environment. And the team did not play well, and everybody's telling them that they're a different team on the road and they can't play well on the road. Hopefully they'll take it out on Arkansas. We'll see. Maybe it'll continue or maybe they'll play better. Used to be, as Coach Saban has mentioned earlier this season, that they had a bunch of hateful competitors. In Alabama, it used to be the mantra was that they played better on the road than they did at home. But now, because they've had some close calls on the road since 2020, really it's just last year, that mantra and narrative seems to have changed. Well, Alabama's a different team on the road. They don't play as well, yada, 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 yada. So we'll see. But I think sometimes the opponent has something to do with that, and I certainly think Arkansas is a quality opponent who should have won. They should be undefeated. I think the better team didn't win in Jerry World. I think anybody that watched the game and saw them romp up and down the field on the most overrated, roster in college football understands that.
Right.
But they just, they didn't win the game, though. You have to finish. And so certainly I don't think Alabama, and I would be shocked if Alabama's players don't understand that Arkansas is a really good team and that they should have won that game and it's going to be dangerous. And you have to remember last year, Arkansas competed their tails off and KJ Jefferson played really well, and Arkansas with that freak Treylon Burks putting on a show, nearly beat Alabama. I mean, Alabama was still, I don't think they were ever in danger of losing the game, but it was a very competitive game. And certainly you expect nothing more than Sam Pittman's team to give Alabama their best.
All right, we got to get a break in because we all need to get woke up. And I guarantee you our next guest is already woke up. John Schulman, UAH head basketball coach, going to fire us all up about a huge event coming up tomorrow downtown.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It has been an easy morning so far. No problems to report to you. You be careful. Maybe we can keep it that way throughout the morning. Right now, though, the ride doesn't look bad. The YMCA's Camp Chalaki at Lake Guntersville is a great place to have retreats, off-site church, corporate, and civic meetings, single or multi-day events. YMCAHuntsville.org. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey there, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. We're celebrating 40 legendary years here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. And to kick this off, we're coming in hot with our all-new Alabama Hot Chicken. Fresh southern fried chicken breast smothered in a blend of tangy, immune-boosting herbs and spices with a spicy finish. Served up with a side of homemade smoked Gouda cheese grits, Miss Mary southern greens, and garlic bread. And there's plenty more where that came from. Stop in today and celebrate with us. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Take it to the house this football season with the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association. If Alabama or Auburn returns their first received kickoff in the second half for a touchdown at a home SEC game, one lucky fan will win a $75,000 down payment towards the purchase of a manufactured home from an authorized AMHA dealer. Don't miss your chance to take it to the house this season and win a beautiful manufactured home. Register to win today at auburntigers.com/take-it-to-the-house or crimsontide.com/take-it-to-the-house. Certain terms and conditions may apply. To learn more, visit alamha.org.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And yes, we have had a plethora of football conversation, but it's always good to talk some basketball.
Love it.
And coming up tomorrow, I know, folks, I know Friday night is a huge night for high school football, but carve out about an hour and a half of your time tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. The weather should be beautiful. I mean, look, we have had Chamber of Commerce weather the last week. We're going to have it again tomorrow. I can feel it. But tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, downtown, the UAH Chargers, the men's and the women's basketball programs are going to take to the streets, literally take to the streets. It's all free, and it's going to be a great time downtown.
Yes, it is. It's going to be a great event. A lot of great action. A lot of team activities. You're going to get a chance to see a lot of new faces because there are some. Because look, the transfer portal, it affects every level of basketball, and certainly our next guest has reshaped his roster. Still a great one. They're going to get some championship rings because this is a championship program. It's hard to believe he's already entering year 4 at the helm of UAH. But, of course, we always love talking to our next guest, and that's John Shulman, the head basketball coach of the Chargers. Coach, welcome back. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you, sir?
I felt like we never left, man. Let's talk about who we playing Thursday and Saturday. I felt like this was last year again.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it? Was he after tonight? What is it, 4 weeks, and then we actually get to go through all that again?
God, don't even go there. I don't know if we're ready for all that mess, but we're excited. I'm excited to get back into the grind of it. As y'all know, I'm a little different, to say the least. But I love the grind of it. I love practicing in November and getting out of practice, and it's dark and cold outside, and we got to go back again the next morning. And the grind is what excites me, and we're not to that point yet, but we're getting closer.
Yeah, you're getting closer. I mean, practices about ready to get underway, getting underway, and a unique event on Friday really to kind of help showcase the program, the kids, and just to have a little bit of fun before you get into that grind.
Yeah, this was started last year. This was kind of the brainchild of Megan Owens in the alumni office here, and David Ivey had a lot to do with it. They started it last year. We kind of stole the idea a little bit from Auburn and putting a court outside, and John Prater up in Chattanooga just happens to be one of my best buddies, and so he was like, why not? Why can't we do it at UAH? Well, we can. And so we tried to do it last year down at Campus 805, and we ended up in a cafeteria down there because it was rainy and nasty, and so and it was a great event last year. It was a great event, and but we decided to move it downtown this year, and we're awfully excited. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, corner of Holmes and Jefferson, I guess diagonally or catty corner away from Melt. And it's going to be a blast. John Prater's coming back down, putting the court down and a basket down, and we're going to turn the parking lot into a basketball court. Men and women got a lot of games between the programs and got a lot of games with the fans. And so whoever comes down tomorrow night will be involved, probably get involved in a knockout competition with our players or with the women's players, and the night will end up, you're right, Drew, we're getting our third set of championship rings tomorrow night, so we're awesome. Excited about that. Just a great way to tip off this year and kind of celebrate Huntsville's team, UAH.
I've seen those knockout games, especially in middle school and high school. They can get pretty competitive.
Hey, is Coach Shulman going to come out of retirement and do some knockout?
Oh, we need you to get into knockout.
Yeah, I wish, but my hamstring has been really bad lately, and I've got an Achilles strain, and my lower back is a little off. And so I tell you what I'd like to do is take the mic from Scott Tyson, our MC, and let Scott go out there and play a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I mean, he looks from social media, he looks like an elite pickleballer, an elite tennis player.
He played some golf last week, Coach.
I mean, Scott Tyson's an animal out there. Let's get him involved.
Well, you got a lot of guys. You got a lot of guys to pick from a lot of these games. There are going to be some familiar faces to Charger fans out there. I mean, the C.J. Williamsons are back. The Luke Burnett's are back. The Dane Hardings are back. The Max Schulmans is back.
If you don't say Chaney Johnson, he's going to come to. He's going to find you and go after you. The Chaney Johnson. How about that?
Yeah, Chaney Johnson. I mean, I'm just going down the list, and we're picking them all. But there are familiar faces. But there's also some new faces that the guys are going to have.
Yeah,
the
we were
fans are
mentioning the
going to have to
portal,
get
Coach.
used to.
We do have, and Drew's right. The transfer portal is. I don't think it's particularly healthy for college athletics.
Right.
And I'm not so sure that the NIL is particularly healthy for college athletics. But like we talked about yesterday, those are the rules, and those are what we have to play by. And you better join them, or you're going to get left behind. Now, I don't want to live in the portal, and the portal is like shopping at Amazon. Just be honest, guys. It's like, here's what you're looking for. Well, go in the portal and go pick it out, and you got between these four guys, and it's as easy as that, just to be honest. And I don't like that. So, but the three guys we got out of the portal we all had a previous relationship with these kids, and I can deal with that. So as long as we got a previous relationship and we recruited them a little bit on the front end, and so we've got three transfers in here. One of them is Jacob Radiker, who was 6'9", from Chattanooga. He's a Georgia kid, but he was at UTC last year, and he was our first kid that we offered 3 years ago. Went to Navy for a year and then went to Chattanooga, but will just be a freshman here this year. But 6'9", 220, and a grown man. The next transfer is a kid named Hunter Vick. Hunter Vick started at Tennessee Tech, and he went to Union. He gave us 30 a couple times at Union. We could not guard him at Union, and he graduated. He's got 1 year to play, and I thought he was a perfect complimentary guy for us. Going to be fantastic. And the third transfer we got is a familiar face in my household, is my middle child, Tanner Schulman. So Tanner was at Lipscomb, earned his way to being a scholarship player at Lipscomb, and after we won the GSC championship last year at Birmingham, looked at me at dinner and went, "Dad, by the way, I'm going to tell Coach Acuff tomorrow that I'm leaving and I'm coming home." Okay. Mom about spit her sandwich out at Mama Goldberg's in Birmingham, but life's good. And so we have two Schulmans in the fold, and Max is here for his 12th year running. But we've got an old team. We've got a really fun team. We got great kids. The thing that I've tried to do the whole time here is protect the culture that Coach Acuff built, and we've done a really good job of protecting culture. We've got some talented kids. This is the same team that won 23 games and won the GSC tournament and won a round in the NCAA tournament last year, and we really got all the pieces back pretty much. We lost a few, but we got pretty much the bulk of the team back, and we're awfully excited to get going, and so excited November 2nd to go play my good buddy Bruce Pearl. I'm sure. Listen, I'm going to be so nice to him in the next month because they've got a pretty good team also. And I don't want them to do any damage that we don't need to rouse any giant or any beast that night. So we're going to be very nice.
I got to ask you this, though. Throughout youth basketball, throughout youth sports or anything, have you ever coached two of your sons together?
I did 1 year at McCallie. I coached 1 year at McCallie, and Tanner didn't get to play a ton, was a sophomore. But one Schulman did get to coach both our kids together. And Scott, if you'll remind me, I'll show you pictures. It was young Max Schulman starting two-man for the Orange team at 4 years old, and Tanner was actually happened in the winter, so he was 3 years old. So Tanner was 3, Max was 4, and their coach was none other than Amy Schulman.
There we go.
My wife coached both of them, and I'm not sure all ended well during that experience. but we still got the basketball cards to prove that. So if you remind me, I've got it in my day timer.
Well, and now Max is about to file for Social Security, right?
Yeah. So he's a little older now. But you know what's crazy is Tanner. This is Tanner's 4th year in college. He redshirted his first year. The next year was a COVID year. and then he played last year.
Yeah.
So it's his 4th year in college. He's just a sophomore athletically.
Yeah.
And so, but it's a great excuse for these kids to stay in school longer.
Yes.
A great excuse to get your master's. Max is working on his MBA. And just to, I don't know anybody that is dying to become an adult and get out in the real world. Stay a kid as long as you can.
Play basketball.
What I've done. I have perfected that I've stayed a kid my whole life, so it's a blast. You may want to try it.
Yeah, there's no question. And hey, I wanted to ask you though, because we didn't get to see him a ton last year. He was starting to assert himself. How is Nyland Thomas? And I think everybody's looking forward to seeing him on the floor for you guys.
Listen, Nyland is a grown man. Nyland is, besides Cheney, and I wish I could say it's the Schulmans, but my boys do work hard. But Cheney and Nyland are in the gym like 24/7. You got to tell them to get out of there. They're our hardest workers. Nyland is a wonderful human. Nyland is his body. If you saw Nyland right now, he really needs to be a defensive back in the NFL. I mean, he is a grown man, but he's worked on his game. He continuously worked on his game this summer, and he is so much fun. He can really guard. He can really defend. He can get to the basket. And we got to remember that Nyland, he was our starting point guard, beat West Georgia here, broke his foot the next day, and then was really out till June. So he was out an awful long time with a broken foot, but he has come back with guns a-blazing, I'll tell you that.
Well, Coach, this is your 4th year here at UAH, but your first year with some new assistants, though, as well.
Staff, a little bit of new staff.
A little new staff for you this year.
Listen, losing Anthony Kamara was like losing a member of my family. He was, golly, we gave him everything on the offensive side, and did he flourish? Empower your assistants and let them work, and it's amazing what that guy did. And I worked many, many years, and you always want your head coach or your boss when you're an assistant to listen to you and to fight for you, and been in some situations where that happened and some situations where it didn't. So I knew what head coach I wanted to be, and when I knew Anthony wanted to be a head coach, and he was ready to be a head coach, and when the Montevallo job opened, it made perfect sense. The only thing that I didn't like about it is we have to look at him twice a year. But that's a compliment to him. He is really a sharp young man, and we're excited about Anthony being at Montevallo, but we're also excited about Andy Pennington being here with us now. We recruited Andy. He was a top 100 player in the country back in 91, and we recruited Andy at East Tennessee State, and I've had a relationship for 30 years. Been a high school coach, a lot of AAU, a lot of high school, but got a great offensive mind. And as Dylan Harding would say, hey, Coach, we need somebody in that office that just cares for these guys. And Andy cares for these guys. And Ezra Pinzer is back with us for his 2nd year. He's done a fantastic job. Helped our camps go from we almost tripled our camps this past summer. And he was huge with that. But I'll tell you the biggest surprise that we have on our staff is, I just said his name is Dylan Harding.
Yes.
Dylan went from player to coach, and sometimes that's not easy, but he was an absolute natural at that. And I can honestly say he's a lot better coach than player. How about that? He was got a great offensive mind, and he is so excited to be on the other side of this deal of being a coach, and has been just such a pleasant surprise for us. So we're awfully excited with our staff. We're excited with our team. And, we talked about yesterday, we fight human nature every day. We've got this really good team coming back. That doesn't mean anything. So we're going to pretend like we're very untalented and we don't have a ton of talent, and we're going to work harder than anybody else in the league and hopefully anybody else in the country when we really get started, and then away we go, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we can't wait to see Chaney Johnson and C.J. Williamson once again on the floor together. I mean, it's the old adage, Coach, you either get better or you get worse, and I know those guys have been working, and they're supremely talented and two of the best players in the country. Yeah,
I mean, just to be honest, C.J., I don't know how many people play a 6'3.5" 5-man, but we did, and he grew in that role. And by the end of the season, I mean, he was most outstanding player of the conference tournament, and he worked this summer, and he is down to about 192, and he got here about 210, and he's thinner, and he moves better, and he's just as strong. And Cheney is like 6'7" now, and just a grown man. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, those two inside and Cheney's, they it's amazing. You tell a guy that he's a 4-man and they want to be a 2, and you tell a 2-man that he's a 2 and he wants to be a 5. And so, hey, Cheney, if you really want to go score a lot of points, going inside is not necessarily a bad thing, but in the culture of basketball right now, it's like you have the plague if you go inside. And so, but no, with those two guys, and they've worked, and we've got guys who can really shoot it. Hunter Vick is going to play the point, and Costal's coming back at the point, Nyland at the point. We have depth. Daniel Saylor, who scored 10 points in the GSC championship game, is back as a sophomore. He's a 6'10" man inside, and Matt Thurman, who is a perfect Princeton guy at the 5, is slicing and dicing everybody who can really shoot it. And Dane Harding we really missed Dane at the end of the year, but Dane is back and has his 3rd shoulder surgery and ready to roll. So we're awfully excited about where we are, but we're awfully excited about tomorrow night and Charger tip-off. You can meet all these guys, see them, meet them, take pictures with them, play a little gotcha or knockout with them, and they're just great kids, and they're a great representation of UAH.
Yep, a little dunk contest thrown in there, some other games thrown in there as well. It's going to be a fun time.
It's going to be a great time. It's going to be very interactive. We're going to have a blast, and we have an elite. We have a Power 5 MC. So we've got a high Division I MC in Scott Tyson, and, is Drew going to be there? That's a lot of people are talking. Is Drew going to be there tomorrow night?
If I wish I could clone myself, Coach, but I've got a football game to call.
I think you're probably the only person in the country that would like to clone you. So, that's
probably. That's a good point, Coach.
A lot of people just kind of shrieked when they just listened to the radio there, Drew. Hey, guys, so much appreciate you guys and what y'all do for all of us. So thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate
we'll
that.
see you for sure tomorrow night, and then we got Auburn coming up, so we'll definitely be down there.
Yeah, definitely. So John Shulman joining us, and that's going to be a great event. I can't wait to see you. I guess you're going to have a special car that somebody's going to run you over to the studio so you can start doing the scoreboard show by 8:30.
Yeah, I'm going to be like Kirk Herbstreit on
game
exactly.
Day, you got to have somebody, a police officer, to give you an escort.
So the thing is this event will start at 7, and with the ring ceremony, we were supposed to end at 8:20.
Oh boy.
So
starting on the blitz, brother.
So
coming in hot.
Yes, we will be. We're going to be. The good news is it's not very far. Now, if we were at the old studios, man, I could be there.
Yeah, you can just walk over there.
30 seconds.
Right.
It's going to take, we
had to need that police escort.
We had to move.
By our friendly neighborhood Huntsville Police Department.
Yeah. If you see a white Volvo.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
Because
we got a show to do at 8:30. Well, we should be good. They assured me. But see, here's the thing. I'm the MC, so I can move the event as fast as we want or as slow as we want. So we can
no running clock. Okay?
Well,
that's what we're saying. No, I'm talking about at the football game, man. We don't need a running clock.
Well, see here.
Play everybody.
It's Buckhorn. It's Buckhorn and it's homecoming for the Bucks.
Yeah.
May Jemison. It's Buckhorn and May Jemison.
Yeah, and the Jags.
Buckhorn needs that one. So does May Jemison. They both need it.
And we got 2 other games. We got Randolph traveling to Madison County. It's going to be an interesting contest in 4A Region 8. No question about that. And then another region game for Madison Academy against Asbury. So no running clocks.
Well,
All
right, we're going to get that break in. When we come back, we'll open the phone lines to you. 256-576-4977. No, we're going at 8:30.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a new wreck at Elkwood section and Luke Hicks Road. That one is coming in as an injury type. Had one in Decatur Spring in Caradale. It turned out to be a no injury. 53 in Old Railroad Bed, head injuries involved. Got a county deputy unit involved also, so it's going to take a little while to untangle. And we got a traffic signal problem in Decatur at 14th Street and 4th Avenue. Popeye's tender, juicy, hen-breaded chicken would be perfect for tailgating. Score 5 pieces for $6.99. Popeye's, University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including college football and the NFL. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. Sign up at BetUS.com and use the promo code WZZN. That's BetUS.com and the promo code WZZN.
Do you know that your car or truck or SUV may be worth up to 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and now is the perfect time to trade in and trade up to a gold certified or blue certified pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or crossover. While our new vehicle inventory continues to build back, our Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicles are nearing 100 models to choose from, and a good variety too. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles are 6 years or younger with less than 80,000 miles and have passed 172-point inspection by factory certified technicians. They have a 14-day, 1,000-mile money-back guarantee, a great comprehensive limited warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, and go home with full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Get nearly a new ride and none of the worries. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan Spartman. Hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
The Huntsville Sports Commission, a not-for-profit organization, is driven by the love of sports. And we're excited to announce several events already planned for this fall, including the Gulf South Conference Soccer Championship, the AVCA Fall Collegiate Beach Championships, the NCAA Division I Regional Cross Country Championship, and the Running Lane Cross Country Championships. For the love of sports, the Huntsville Sports Commission. Find out more at huntsvillesports.org. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com. One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today. 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's go out to the phone lines. Pat from Tuscaloosa with us on a Thursday. Good morning, Pat.
Morning, Pat.
Good morning, fellas. Drew, did the people behind the glass finally get off the pocketbook at Texas ATM and pick up the missing piece to their defensive line? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's a missing piece. They've got several defensive linemen. They got more five-star DLs than just about anybody in America, but they certainly got David Hicks yesterday, and some people think he's the #1 defensive lineman in the country. Certainly, I thought, and I told you on this show, that he was going to go to Oklahoma. That had kind of been what the tea leaves have been saying for weeks. But that's why when I saw that yesterday, I was surprised. And then I did a little digging, and it turns out that up until about 30 minutes before the announcement, it was going to be Oklahoma. And, they at least that's what insiders at OU thought. But we all know how the NIL era and where we are now. And certainly, Texas ATM did this last year. They have an aggressive, group of boosters who, and right now in the state of Texas, it is legal, and they have a big time collective, and they used it to pay David Hicks up front. I know some people will raise Cain and say, well, there's no proof, and what did he get paid and things of that nature. But if you don't think this is going on, then just keep sticking your head in the sand. I'm sorry, that's what's happening. And certainly, as far as defensive line, Texas ATM has basically cornered the market on it. And so, and everybody knew. I mean, their recruiting class has been a slow build. That they were going to get more aggressive, and they certainly didn't want to let David Hicks get out of the state of Texas because they've already. And again, some of these kids haven't signed anything, but you saw last week that Alabama got Jordan Renaud and Jalen Hill out of the state of Texas. So, there's going to be some elite players that certainly the Longhorns and especially the Aggies aren't going to let get away.
Yes, but my heart goes out there to Damon Wilson down in Florida. He was the area where he lived was dead in the middle of the worst part of that storm yesterday.
Yeah,
and so my heart goes out to them, no matter who he chooses. But you're banking more on Hobbs to Alabama to go along with. Are you feeling better about Rousseau now? Because we need. Because just like we're going to play one Saturday that left us that would give us more depth. Our defensive line is needing more depth, and because we're going to be missing at least one, and maybe even two off this line are going to be going to being highly recruited or big time in the NFL prospects.
Well, I mean, Certainly, Pat. I mean, they do need Quay Russaw and James Smith. I think they're both huge priorities. It was great to have them on campus last weekend for the Vanderbilt game. I think they'll be back. I don't know if it'll be for Texas A&M at this point. They may wait till the Mississippi State game, but certainly Alabama wants both of them. I saw where Chad Simmons, as of right now, it doesn't mean anything, but he did put in a prediction for Russaw to Alabama. If that's true and it's still trending that way and Charles Kelly continues to do a great job recruiting them, then I think James Smith would come with him. I think they're a package deal, but they both would be very important. David Hobbs, recently officially visited Tennessee. But yes, Alabama's still very interested in him, no question about it. And it's going to be. And I found out yesterday, Keon Keeley and his family are still slated to officially visit for the Texas A&M game, and they are now have changed their itinerary. They're going to stay through Monday morning and leave at 11 a.m.
Good deal. That's great news. You on top of it. You're the best. All right, and Scott, thank you. Hey, y'all have a blessed day, and I'm headed to L.A., Lower Alabama myself.
Well,
have
safe travels, Pat. Thank you.
That's just about going to wrap up hour one of Talking Ball here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. When we come back for hour two, I want to ask you, Ole Miss and Kentucky are playing this weekend against each other, but how much do we really know about either program? We'll see. We can talk about that, shed some light on that Kentucky-Ole Miss matchup in Oxford, plus some more college football news along the way, plus the phone lines, 256-576-4977.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a new accident reported with injuries on Moore's Mill near the railroad tracks. Had one on Elkwood section at Luke Hicks Road. That one reported as an injury type. 53, an old railroad bed, had a county deputy involved in that one, also an overturned vehicle, so they may still be working to get it clear. Need help finding admin, accounting, or medical staff? Snelling can help. Snelling, how Huntsville's best companies hire talent. 256-382-4000. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes, Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Thursday, expect another afternoon full of sunshine. High temperature is going to be topping out in the mid-70s for the afternoon. Heading into your Thursday night, expect a clear sky. Low temperature is going to be on the chilly side again. Upper 40s expected for most. We could see gusty winds as high as 15 miles per hour. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
NFL tonight, the Bengals hosting the Dolphins. Cincinnati a 4-point home favorite. The Saints facing the Vikings in London on Sunday morning. New Orleans plus 2.5. The Falcons a 1.5-point home underdog against the Browns. Heading into week 5 of college football season, Georgia still the odds-on favorite to take home back-to-back college football playoff national championships at plus 195. Alabama at plus 210, followed by Ohio State at plus 260. USC then drops down to plus 1,600 and Clemson plus 1,800. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And welcome back, Hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome in as we get you ready for a night of high school football, a night of college football, a busy weekend of college football as well. If you are looking at the state, remember we mentioned at the top of the hour, there is some high school football being played tonight. Huntsville will travel to Albertville tonight for a Thursday night contest. Those are moved because of the hurricane. They thought we were going to get some bad weather, so a lot of teams, especially in the south part of the state, moved their high school football games to be played tonight. Another one in our area does see Galesville will play host to Woodville. So that is really just 2 games from our area being playing tonight around North Alabama. College football. Kentucky is going to travel to Ole Miss this weekend. And it's going to be a big game because it's really Kentucky comes in ranked inside the top 10. Ole Miss comes in ranked, I believe, 14th in the country. But if you look at the top 5 teams in the country, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Clemson, we know a lot about those teams after 4 games, I think. I think we know something about Georgia, maybe. Ohio State, probably so. We're going to find out a lot about Michigan this weekend. They're on the road at Iowa, where top 5 teams go to die. But Kentucky is 7th ranked in the country. They're 4-0. Yes, they went to Gainesville. But how much do we really know about Kentucky at this point?
Well, I mean, we're going to find a lot out about them and how strong the East is compared to the West. We firmly believe the West is much stronger, but we will know for sure after this Saturday at 11 a.m. in Oxford, Mississippi. I mean, I was on a show yesterday, and they asked me who I would say right now are the number 2 teams in each division in the SEC, and in the SEC East, based on just what we've seen the first month, I would say by a hair, I would take Tennessee over Kentucky just simply because of how potent Tennessee's offense has looked. But at the same time, Florida is much better than 2 of the opponents Tennessee has played. Tennessee played Pitt and, was very fortunate to survive in overtime, just like Alabama escaped in Austin, Texas. But I'm just saying, with the way Hendon Hooker's playing and they're improving again, and being able to beat the Florida Gators without Cedric Tillman, I thought was significant because he's one of the best receivers in the SEC. Means they're developing depth. I just think by a hair, and it just seems like Tennessee has Kentucky's number. Even though a couple years ago in 20 they blew Tennessee out in Knoxville, but they've got a different coaching staff now. So I just think overall, by a hair, I would take Tennessee. And then in the West, I'm banking on Ole Miss winning this game at home. I'm going to pick them in a close one. So now I've had friends, and they're very familiar with the Ole Miss program, that think that Ole Miss is going to win by double digits in Oxford. And I'll just say this: if that happens,
right,
then it just shows you how much stronger the West is than the East. And I'll just say, if I had to choose right now, based on what I've seen, if Arkansas had taken care of ATM like they should have, if they hadn't fumbled inside the 3.
It'd easily be a top 10 matchup in Fayetteville.
They had not missed the field goal. I would say that it was Alabama, then Arkansas, the two best teams in the West. But due to the fact that they lost to Dirt Neck University, I would have to go with, second in the West right now, Ole Miss.
Considering that their preseason schedule
and I know Ole Miss, they look
challenging.
shaky defensively, but I think that Tulsa team's pretty good on offense.
Right.
But again, what we're going to find out is which one of these teams, to me, are for real, are a legit conference contender. And I'm talking about to be finish in the top 2 in their division and at least play for a shot to go to Atlanta. Okay, and that's what what's going to come out of Ole Miss and Kentucky. I would take Ole Miss, but just closer than double digits. I think Kentucky can stay with them. I would take, Ole Miss. If you had to ask me what would a final score be, I would say somewhere around 27-21, something like that. But again, I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I think they're both really good teams. But I want to see Jackson Dart against a better team.
Right. How about Will Levis, too? Will Rogers right now leads the SEC in passing yards at 1386. Stetson Bennett is second. That's 11th best in the country, by the way, for Stetson Bennett. Will Rogers is only 2 yards off the top mark in the country.
Yeah.
Michael Penix Jr. from Washington leads the country in passing yards. Will Rogers is second. Will Levis is 4th best in the SEC right now. Hendon Hooker has him by just a handful of yards. 1,193 for Hooker, 1,185 for Will Levis. If Will Levis goes into Oxford and that Ole Miss defense, which has been good but not great, if Will Levis goes in, puts up a big day. Remember the beginning of the season, and everybody thought Will Levis was a top 10 pick in the NFL.
If he's a first-round draft pick, they'll win the game.
Does this solidify him then as – because we think – you got Bryce Young, number 1, and then it's Stetson Bennett, Hendon Hooker, maybe 2-3, 3-2, depending on where you want to put it.
KJ Jefferson, I like ball better than Levis. Levis would prove a lot to me if he could bring his team
that's my
out
point
of
there. What
Oxford,
do we do with Will
Mississippi,
Levis?
And get a win. Then I would maybe start believing some of the hype about his arm talent and that he's a first-round draft choice. That's the way Kentucky will win this game. Berrien Brown and his band of renown was the SEC co-freshman of the week, and he's an outstanding talent. Probably the best high school player I saw in person last year. I'm not surprised he's doing this. But he and Will Levis and that receiver core, they got some good young players in that wide receiver room at Kentucky. They need to go out and prove themselves and win this game. And if they do, then I think Kentucky is the second best team in the East. That's what that would prove to me. Right now, a few days before the game, I'm saying Tennessee. But this would go a long way. This would be, I'll be honest, I know it was cathartic and Florida has dominated the series against Kentucky.
Right.
But it would be a more significant win to go to Oxford and get that W than it was going to Gainesville and getting that win. I just think Florida's roster is in flux. But I know Lane Kiffin's the portal king and he added 20 dudes. But I just think if from what I've seen so far with Zach Evans and Quinshon Judkins and Jackson Dart and this offense and Michael Trigg, I just think Ole Miss is pretty good, and we will see how good comes Saturday. This is going to be a really fascinating game. I'm looking forward to watching it. I will definitely be watching on Saturday because I think it's two good football teams, and we'll see if one of them has a chance to have a great year. We talked to David Johnson of Rebels 247, and we were a little bit. It opened our eyes. He told us he was watching practice. First, I'll give him credit for telling us about Quinshon Judkins. And I knew about Judkins in Alabama high school football last year. But I'm just talking about he told us how good he was looking in practice at Ole Miss. And he's looked outstanding and been one of the best freshman running backs in the country. But he told us that Ole Miss would win 10 games. And if they're going to win 10, then they need to win this one. But then if Kentucky wins it, then Kentucky is setting themselves up to be 5-0 and definitely trying to have that game mean everything against Georgia later in the year. So there's a lot at stake in this game.
There is, and you're going to have to, if you're going to party in the Grove, you got to make sure you get your partying in because it's an 11 a.m. kick, by the way, in Oxford. 11 a.m. kick.
Early breakfast in the Grove.
Yeah. A lot of fans may not make it, according to Lane Kiffin. A lot of Ole Miss fans may not make it.
Oh, I just hope Lane makes it. And he doesn't say something stupid like get your popcorn ready, because if he does that, they're going to fall flat on their face.
256-576-4977. You can join the conversation and the program this morning as we kind of count down and get you ready for another great Saturday of college football. One of the games outside of the conference, this is Wake Forest and Florida State. This one's a big one. And I know we don't talk ACC, and we're not going to, but what Dave Clawson did yesterday, did you hear? So
I know he wasn't happy about the game.
Yeah, he wasn't, but he also threw Vanderbilt and Florida State in the same conversation as far as fan attendance goes.
Wow. And you said, on another level.
Yeah, here you go. Listen to this is Dave Clawson, head coach of Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, given that Florida State canceled classes and canceled their homecoming, I don't know if it's going to be packed. I mean, there could end up being, who knows, there could be fewer people here than Vanderbilt. You know, I think we were preparing for that. I'd be very surprised. I mean, I have, friends down there that wanted tickets that said, no thanks, we're good now. So, again, it's when that place is rocking and they were sold out for BC and, they get the horse and they throw the thing and it explodes. I mean, it's like, it's quite a scene. It really is. And our players enjoy that environment.
Well, obviously there wasn't many people at Vandy when they won 45-25.
No. No, there was not. So he making reference to the fact that the Vanderbilt crowd that they played in is going to be similar to the Florida State crowd that they play in with against this weekend.
Well, they just better be ready to play. That's all I'm going to say. And I know he wanted the game moved because of the classes being canceled and the threat of weather. And I guess going all the way back to Tuesday, classes were canceled at Florida State. But we'll see. I mean, prayers to everybody in the state of Florida. Wake Forest certainly had a chance to beat Clemson last week and did not. So. They're definitely looking to bounce back, and FSU quietly is 4-0. I mean, this is Mike Norvell trying to get Florida State back among the relevant. He got a huge win in the Caesars Superdome against LSU that no one saw coming, and they haven't had any hiccups since. They've been able to get going and have a good start.
All right, we have not done this in a while, so I've thought it's a great time because we are going into week 5 of the college football season. So we're nearing the halfway point. Another week we'll be close to the halfway point of the college football season. So what better time to check in with our good friend over at the Colley Matrix poll just to see where some of these teams are ranking according to the computers. Remember back in the day, the BCS was all computers and human vote, but the Colley Matrix poll from Dr. Wes Colley over at UAH was a huge part of the BCS computer poll. So, and he still puts out his computer rankings. So it's always fun to go to see if the computers were still around, where teams would be ranked. And if this was the old BCS system going into week 5 of the college football season, Penn State and USC would be your 2 college football playoff teams. Penn State and USC. Alabama would be 3.
Nice.
Okay, Alabama would be third. You want to take a guess on who the fourth team is ahead of Georgia? Georgia's 5 in this poll.
Right.
Alabama's 3. Want to take a guess on who's 4?
Florida State.
Nope. The Kansas Jayhawks.
Oh, not basketball. Hey, by the way, that's a great segue here. Congratulations to Chase McCarty of Westminster Christian
There
Academy.
you go. We worked Kansas.
He was visited by the Kansas coaching staff yesterday and offered by the Jayhawks and Bill Self, the defending national champion. So that is what kind of basketball players we have in this community, and we want to give a big shout-out to Chase McCarty. I was told by Jimmy Lay of AL.com and Westminster that they were coming to visit. They certainly did and watch practice and work out, and then offered Chase McCarty. He's also been on a recent visit to Tennessee. He's been offered
get
by
Chase
them.
in studio.
Oh, there's no doubt we'll do that. I mean, certainly he's one of the best players in the country, and plays for our great friend Ronnie Stapler, and I think they're in my opinion, the coach probably would think this is rat poison, but I think they're the favorite in 4A to win the state championship, and I think they have a chance to have an outstanding basketball team this year. We talked a little bit of that on the recruiting blitz with Jimmy Lay, and he was telling us about some of the other young talent on this squad, and that it has a chance to be the best team coach has had at Westminster, and certainly he's already won a state championship there and played for another.
All right, so Kansas is 4 in the Colley Matrix poll. Number 5 is Georgia. 6 is Syracuse.
Oh, Lord.
7 is Clemson. Tennessee checks in at number 8.
Mm-hmm.
They're the third highest. And then you have Ohio State at 9. This is where it gets fun. Florida State is 10. NC State is 11. Kentucky is 12. James Madison is 13.
And they just beat Appalachian, who beat A&M.
Yes.
Who beat A&M. Who beat ATM.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who Appalachian nearly lost to Troy.
Yeah, and they should have lost to Troy.
Yeah.
You know, the same Appalachian that beat ATM.
Beat
ATM.
Beat ATM. We got to do it. There we go. Washington is 15. Michigan is 16. And UCLA is number 17. Those are your undefeated teams in the Colley Matrix poll.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always fun to go through. It's always fun to go through and look at and see where some of these teams rank in the West Colley Matrix poll. 256-576. By the way, Troy is 82nd on this list.
82nd?
They're 82nd. They're 2-2.
Come on.
Their best win is against Marshall. They have their best win against Marshall.
Yeah, but they beat Marshall, who hasn't won a game since they beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Vanderbilt checks in at number 62, according to the computers. Auburn, by the way, checks in at number 32.
I'm sorry. I hate to say this for Vanderbilt, but I would take Troy in a matchup with them.
You would take John Summerall's Trojans over Vanderbilt right now?
Be a close game, but I think Troy could pull it out.
You think so?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's look good against non-conference opponents.
Well, except for Wake Forest. Remember, there was 2 dogs and a cat at the game, too. According to Coach Clausen.
The good news for Vanderbilt, though, this week is they are off this week. So
yeah,
they can
recharge a little bit.
Usually when you come out of that Alabama game, it's tough to pick it up, regroup, and play again. For Vanderbilt, they're off this week. Next week, Vanderbilt has Ole Miss coming to town.
Oof. And Lane got to keep his team focused, especially if they can get a big win over Kentucky. You don't want to give that one away.
So, yeah. 256-576-4977. That's how you can get in on the show this morning. Just a minute or so, and then we're going to get that break in.
And I'm looking forward to Jake Crane's takes. He always brings strong stuff. I want to see who he likes in this Kentucky Ole Miss game.
It is intriguing because I don't think we know a lot.
Yeah.
I know Ole Miss is 14th. Kentucky is 7. We saw Kentucky on the road at Florida. But Ole Miss hasn't left Vaught Hemingway.
Yeah, they haven't.
Did they?
Well, they went to Georgia Tech, but
that's true. I forgot about that one.
But again, he's already fired. I mean, that team's bad. They beat Georgia Tech worse than Clemson. So, We'll see. And I want to see what Jake truly thinks of Alabama and Arkansas. What's his gut tell him about how that game's going to go? That one's going to be pretty fascinating. And then Auburn LSU. He's been very adamant about Brian Harson's future. We already talked about what A.J. McCarron said on his podcast. Does Jake Crane agree with that?
He's been very vocal about
Yes.
that Auburn job.
Yes.
Let's just get his thoughts coming up next. Let's take that break, and let's get Jake Crane's thoughts.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck at 431 in Doug Hill. That one's inbound. Got the right lane blocked up there. HPD's got units on the way. Moore's Mill near the railroad tracks. That accident had an injury involved. 53 an old railroad bed. That one had an overturned vehicle and a county deputy unit involved. Had some injury there, so they may still be working on it. No hose, no mask. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and for snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeyes, Skywatch Traffic Center.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Attorney Tommy Sinyard on behalf of Sinyard Law, and again proud to be a sponsor of All Things Football here on ESPN Radio. My son Bart and I started our own law firm July 1 and are very proud and excited to be bringing you our 50 years of collective national award-winning injury trial law experience. Check us out on the web, sinyardlaw.com.
Sinyard Law, nationally recognized, locally respected.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Flow Trampoline Park is your one-stop fun spot for your next birthday party. Whether you're a boy, girl, kid, or adult, Flow has you covered. Party packages allow up to 25 plus guests, so you'll be able to bring all of your friends. And with all the fun competition to be had at Flow, maybe enemies too. Party packages will give you access to 60 minutes of jump time, grip socks for all guests, a private party room, and a party coordinator. Flow is behind South Parkway and Drake, behind Cracker Barrel. For more information, go to flowhuntsville.com. Get jumping with Flow.
Hey there, folks. Head fry cook Bob Baumhauer here, and I just want to say thank you for allowing Baumhauer's Victory Grill to serve you for 40 legendary years. When I first delivered Alabama's first taste of buffalo wings back in 1981, people thought I was crazy. For the first few years, I had to give wings away. Imagine that. 40 years later, I'm still proud to serve the great people and visitors of Alabama our famous buffalo wings and much more. Here's to 40 years of legendary fun, legendary food, and many, many more.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama A&M University football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com and view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see ya in the Kia. Go Bulldogs!
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Hey friends, Eli Gold here for Environmental Comfort Systems. If you're concerned about the air quality inside your home, give my friend Rick Smith a call at Environmental Comfort Systems. Their indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of indoor air contaminants. Give the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and see how comfortable you can be. Breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314. This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Welcome indeed back to Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We're holding it down until 9 a.m. Don't forget, download the app today. Just search for 97.7 ESPN The Zone in your app store or marketplace, so you can take us wherever you go. That does include Saturday in Fayetteville, Alabama Crimson Tide, 2:30 kickoff. We are the home for Alabama football, so make sure you tune in so you can have the power of 97.7 ESPN The Zone in the palm of your hand. A lot of big games in the SEC, a lot of big news coming out of I shouldn't say news. There's just a lot of topics to hit on when you're talking about the SEC this time of year, because we're getting to that midway point. We're seeing a lot of the pretenders kind of fall away, the contenders come up, and the real teams kind of surface.
Well, and we always enjoy our weekly visits with our next guest, one of the fastest rising shows in the country, and he's the host of the national sports show, Crane and Company, via the Real Daily Wire. And we always enjoy our visits with Jake Crane. He's with us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jake, welcome back to the show with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, guys. We're almost to the midway point. That makes me want to throw up. It just got here. Slow down.
I know. It always does this.
Yeah, you look after it. So Jake, as we do get closer to that halfway point, what's kind of surprised you? We got a lot to get to, but what's kind of surprised you the most around college football after those first 4 weeks?
Well, Kansas and Syracuse. Kansas being relevant in football it's good for college football. It's a nice change. I mean, it's the best coaching job I've seen since James Franklin won 9 games at Vanderbilt twice. I still don't know what type of dark magic he used to do that, but that's still unbelievably impressive. Or Spurrier winning 33 games in 3 years at South Carolina. But, I think one thing, and look, I know Alabama's still really good. Georgia's really good. Ohio State's really good. The normal guys are good. But I think we're seeing a side effect, a little bit of the transfer portal that maybe we didn't see, is the increase in parity. You knew the rich were going to get richer, but it seems like more teams have moved up to the middle class.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that's a perfect segue, because I know Lane Kiffin was a topic on your show this morning. We've been talking about this Ole Miss and Kentucky game. I said coming out of this, we'll find out which team is for real, which team could be pushing for you the second spot in either the East or the West. I think the West is much stronger. What is your thoughts on this game and your thoughts on Lane Kiffin?
Well, I'll start with Lane. Lane trolls a lot on social media. He partakes in a lot of satire and sarcasm, but nothing about what he said about the game day atmosphere in Oxford to me was sarcastic or him trying to be funny or there's some hidden agenda behind it. I think he's gotten to a breaking point with the support at the games. I mean, Ole Miss is winning. They're being talked about in the media. yet he said it feels like a high school game in the second half of some of these home games. And that affects recruiting way more than what people know. You are literally having to keep up with the Joneses. You look to your left at Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee and these atmospheres, Auburn, even though they're not very good. Ole Miss has never lost a party, but they need to take that party inside the stadium, because I don't think Lane was trying to leverage anything, because, guys, opposing coaches hear that too. They're going to go in these kids' living room and say, look, you want to go play at Ole Miss where the atmosphere is not very good, which means they don't care as much as we do? Oh, you don't believe me? Well, let's listen to Lane Kiffin, their head coach, say it. So I think this is Lane sending out a little bit of a warning shot that it needs to get better, because he's turned down jobs since he's been at Ole Miss, and there's one that's probably about to come open in Lee County that if they don't start doing their part in the stands, he may end up bolting.
So before we jump in,
I do want to say, I do want to say though, on the Kentucky Ole Miss game,
yes, that's what we want to stay with.
There's a lot of unknowns about Ole Miss still. We really don't know. You've got an idea, but you don't know. With Kentucky, I think Kentucky's fool's gold. I don't think they're a top 10 team. They lack the ability to be explosive on offense. If you go back and actually watch the games they've played, they let the other team lose the game, which is totally fine. Most teams lose games, they don't win them. But to be able to do what Kentucky wants to do and be consistent on the road in the SEC, you have got to be able to find points somewhere. I don't see Kentucky being able to generate enough points offensively to be able to do the things that people think Kentucky can do. Not having Wan'Dale Robinson is a lot bigger deal than what a lot of people made it.
You mentioned the possible opening in Lee County. Of course, that'd be the Auburn Tigers. A.J. McCarron taking a lot of heat for what he said yesterday, just saying that he's been told that Brian Harsin will be done at the end of the year. Man, last week it was, if they don't beat Missouri, he could be done.
He would have been.
Would have been done, yes. I mean, where are we at now?
We're in purgatory. I mean, it just delayed the inevitable. The worst thing that could have happened for Auburn was for them to beat Missouri. That was because he was going to get fired after they lost. Just in the long-term health of Auburn, this just delayed the inevitable. And crazy things happen at Jordan-Hare. We've seen that. I mean, it's the hot gates of Thermopylae when it comes down to road teams having to play there. Crazy stuff happens. But, look, it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen during the season, it'll happen after. The biggest thing is Auburn's got to get an AD first, because no coach worth their salt is going to take that job when they weren't hired by the athletic director. So they got to take care of that first. And to be honest with you, AJ was the third person I've heard say that. So there's a lot of people coming out saying, hey, it's not true, this, that, and the other. I would caution a little bit. There's some wheels that are moving.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying. It may not be official, but I do think AJ has good sources, no question about it. We're talking to Jake Crane of Crane & Company from the Real Daily Wire. And now we've got this LSU-Auburn game. Is it going to be ugly? Can LSU, win impressively? Because I think they've quietly been much better after the Florida State game. And this Auburn team, I mean, their lack of a coaching adjustments astounds me.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at the amount of points Auburn scored in the second half against Power 5 teams since Brian Carson's been there. I don't think they've scored more than 6.
Yeah,
it's really bad. Like, that's how you know. You want to know if a coach knows what's going on? Look at the adjustments they make. Because a lot of people are good when you're on the first 12 to 15 plays of that script. But when you have to adjust and you have to see what you're getting and adjust accordingly and you can't do it, that speaks volumes about how much you really know schematically or in-game coaching. For Auburn to win this game, they're going to have to get at least 2 turnovers. It's going to have to be an ugly, low-scoring game. If LSU comes in and makes mistakes like they did against Florida State and they let Auburn hang around, I could see a way in which Auburn wins this game. But if LSU comes in and plays clean, which is what they did against Mississippi State, and Mississippi State ended up losing that game due to drop passes and a fumbled punt. If LSU plays clean, LSU can win by double digits. if they don't and they can't run the ball and Jaden Daniels is having to throw their way to touchdowns on 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8, Auburn can hang around long enough to make it a game. I don't think Auburn wins, but it is Jordan Hare. Who knows?
Jake Crane with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And, Jake, you did spend time in locker rooms at halftime. So how much halftime or how many in college football, what is, when we talk about halftime adjustments, they need to make this, they need to do that, Brian Harson's not doing this, they're not doing that. Really, what do coaches do? How much halftime adjustments are being made in the locker room?
Well, a lot of it depends on the staff, but the way it works is like this. You go into halftime, the players go in the locker room, they get a Gatorade, Snickers bar, whatever. You have the offensive coaches meeting with the offensive coaches, the defensive coaches meeting with the defensive coaches, and then the head coach will go to the special teams guy when he can and see if there's any adjustments that need to be made. But what you're looking at is you write down every play that's been called. So you know everything that you've called. Are they coming out in something different than what you've scouted? Is it something where it is game plan specific, where they're not running their base bread and butter stuff? Is there some part of the game plan that you've kept up until this point, and we used to call it, what's your escape plan? If the game plan isn't working, or if the game plan is working, what's your next level thinking to be able to approach them? And then you also have to be able to adjust to their adjustments, because you can go in and adjust at halftime, but that team is adjusting at halftime as well. They may come out in the second half and do something very different than they did in the first half. So you've got to be able to adjust not only during the downtime at halftime, but in the second half as well.
Well, and Jake, this is another perfect segue, though. I wanted to ask you about a matchup coming up. The line continues to kind of grow a little bit. Texas A&M was very lucky to escape in Jerry World against Arkansas. They're a 4-point dog now against Mississippi State. Who do you like in this game?
Man, I locked this thing in when it was -2.5. I bought it down when it was -3.5 to 2.5. I think Mississippi State's just not going to make the same mistakes that they made against LSU, and it's at home, and their backs are against the wall with a veteran team. A&M loses Anaya Smith, which was one of their few vertical weapons you could put outside that would scare the safeties and keep them out of the box, and defensive coordinators would have that thought in the back of their mind. Now, with him out, you're going to see that run game be even harder to find holes. I mean, A-Chain is an absolute alien. There's a reason he's a track star. He's had a really good season so far. But Mississippi State's good enough, and Zach Arnett, their DC, is good enough to take away the run game for A&M and make them beat them through the air. Max Johnson's taking care of the ball, but I don't think this is going to be a game where A&M can score 24 points and win. They're going to have to probably score 28 or more to be able to have a chance to win this game. I don't see them being able to do it. I like Mississippi State in this game.
Very interesting. That would be 2 straight for the Pirate over Jimbo Fisher, a.k.a. Dirt Neck. And now Alabama, Arkansas. Alabama's been a substantial favorite in this game. People talking about Alabama not playing well on the road in Austin. We know Arkansas is going to be hungry after the missed opportunity last week. What are your thoughts on the showcase game on CBS?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's going to come down to Arkansas' secondary. They're beat up. Catalan's out for the year. They're down a starting corner, and they were one of the worst teams in pass defense anyway coming in. So what's a good remedy? If you have young wide receivers that are struggling a little bit on the road, go against a secondary that's not very good. It's a game of matchups, and there's a lot of favorable matchups for Alabama on the outside. It looks like JoJo Earl, one of their experienced wide receivers, is going to be coming back. But this game is going to come down to the run game. Is Arkansas going to be able to run the ball to set up the play action for K.J. Jefferson? Is Alabama going to be able to run the ball to be able to get in 3rd down and 2 and 3rd down and 3, where they're able to sustain drives and score in the red zone, because the field shrinks when you get down there, and that's where OCs get paid, to convert on 3rd down and score touchdowns, not field goals, in the red zone. I think Alabama's the better team. I highly doubt that Alabama's going to play nearly as bad as they did on the road against Texas from a penalty standpoint, from Bryce being confused and holding the ball in the pocket too long standpoint, not being able to identify internal pressure like he got in Texas. I think Gary Patterson and them did a great job of mixing it up and giving Bryce Young different looks throughout the game. It's the only way to keep him off balance. I think Alabama wins, but I like Arkansas plus 17.5. That's a lot of points to chase at home, and Arkansas is backed against the wall, too, after losing their first SEC game in the fashion that they did.
The defending national champions, the Georgia Bulldogs, back at it against Missouri this week. That Georgia schedule, you want to talk about a schedule for a defending national champion, a favorite again. Boy, we don't, as much as we don't know about Ole Miss, this schedule, we even learned anything about Georgia this year because of that schedule that they've had?
Well, I mean, they absolutely dismantled an Oregon team that dismantled BYU.
Yeah, Oregon's looked pretty good since then. Yep.
Yeah. And, I mean, you just got to look at Georgia. Just look at them physically. I mean, again, that physics is physics, science is science. I don't care what Fauci says. But when you look at the physics, I mean, you got guys that just look different. I mean, you got the Globonauts, Blazer, Laser, Taser, and all sorts of Azers. Georgia's really good. Brock Bowers, to me, I think he's the best player in college football.
I don't disagree.
The more I watch him play, I mean, we can talk about quarterbacks and we can talk about Will Anderson. How do you defend Brock Bowers? I don't think NATO could defend Brock Bowers with what he's doing. I think Georgia's for real. The only teams that have a chance against them right now that I've seen are Clemson, Bama, and Ohio State. What's new? I don't know if you're Missouri. How do you get back up after what happened at Auburn? I know I'm as competitive as anybody, but, I mean, dang, dude, y'all blew it twice. I mean, typically overweight kickers never miss, but, I mean, Mevis missing a 26-yarder. I mean, I'm starting to think conspiracy. But, look, Georgia's probably, especially the way they played against Kent State, let's just say Kirby Smart probably wasn't a bundle full of roses and happiness and rainbows at practice this week. So I expect Georgia to cover and beat Missouri up pretty bad.
And then Eli Drinkwitz, though. Your thoughts, though, on taking a knee 3 times inside the 3-yard line.
I said Eli Shula, I mean Drinkwitz. Yeah.
And look, people can question that. You got to make a 26-yard field goal. Sure. I mean, if we can't make an extra point as time expires, I don't want to give the offense the ball back. I'd have done the same thing. If we can't make a 26-yard field goal, we don't deserve to win.
That's a good point. And finally, I know you had a great take on them this week. You think they're the 4th best team in the country. What are you expecting Clemson to do to NC State in Death Valley?
Man, we always talk about it, and people say, oh, well, I guess Clemson's defense isn't that good. Well, if you go back and look at any team that's ever won a national championship, there's always a couple games where their best side of the ball doesn't play well. 2019 LSU, one of the greatest offenses we've ever seen. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Joe Burrow. I mean, it's just a witch factory on offense. They came down to Auburn and scored, and the defense had to win them the game.
That's true.
Sometimes the sign of a best team is when you can win dribbling with your left. Clemson showed that. DJU looked as comfortable as I've ever seen him. His clock looked right. He was putting the ball in good spots. He was identifying matchups. He was using his legs effectively. I know Wake Forest isn't exactly, the steel curtain on defense, but you still got to go out there and make the plays. Now we'll see if he can do it again. That's how we'll really know with DJU. And you're facing an NC State team that has an elite secondary. Devin Leary in the offense hasn't been as explosive as what people thought. Going back to the East Carolina game where they snuck by, and East Carolina had to miss an extra point and a field goal for NC State to win that game. But they are good enough to keep this game close. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I do like Clemson at home. I mean, I'm just waiting for Dabo to fall down the hill when he's running. But outside of that, I think Clemson wins.
Great stuff from Jake Crane. Always enjoy his weekly visits. Please check out his show, Crane and Company. Let everybody know how to connect with you, man, and we always enjoy the conversation.
Definitely, man. Well, we go live every morning, 7:30 to 9 Eastern, every weekday morning. We always have a Saturday special. Then we have a huge Sunday recap of college football and an NFL preview. Just go to YouTube right now. Type in CRAIN and Company. You'll find us. Go ahead and subscribe. It's a great time, man. I appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you,
thanks,
Jake Crane. Great, strong opinions as always.
Yeah. He even threw in a Fauci reference for you.
Yeah, there you go. Always good to bash somebody that's a fraud. We had one on last week.
You're never going to let that go, are you?
Oh, no. Don't have to say names. Just do the math.
I just want to know, I mean, if Texas A&M wins this on Saturday, are you going to change your feeling about Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M this year? If they go beat Mississippi,
no.
They're undefeated in SEC. I know they lost to Appalachian, but they're undefeated in SEC play if they win this.
There's no way I'm changing my opinion. Not from what I've seen. They're going to have to play much better football on Saturday. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll play great. Maybe the I's will get crossed and the T's will get dotted or whatever the hell you say. I'm sorry, I got that totally reversed because I
I's
guess
dotted, the T's crossed.
Yes, the I's dotted and the T's crossed. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
They just had to,
Look, I did Bryce Young, Byron Young, so that's worse than that.
You know, you gave everybody a heart attack in the first hour because you're telling everybody Bryce Young was there. Even me, I'm like, what? I'm looking around like, what happened? What are you talking about? It should be a second.
Yeah, so there you go. I did worse.
Yeah, so I guess I'm still scrambled. But yeah.
You blame it on me.
But, no. But hey, man, I mean, you're going to get police escort to the dang, Woody Anderson Ford High School football scoreboard show. So hey, I'm not that important.
All right, let's get a break in. You're police escort by a security guard.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Had a wreck on 431 northbound at Doug Hill, right lane blocked up there. Moore's Mill near the railroad tracks had an injury involved in that one, may still be trying to clear it. And we had one early, 53, an old railroad bed, had a county deputies unit involved in that one with an overturned vehicle and injury. Haven't heard an update on it. They may still be trying to get it completely wrapped up. Popeye's tender, juicy, hand-breaded chicken would be perfect for tailgating. Score 5 pieces for $6.99. Popeye's, University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet and Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet and Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet and Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down? And maybe you haven't been getting the exercise you need. If you want to get back to the man you used to be, but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns, to problems with muscle gain and bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction. And if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Huntsville Men's Clinic, we've treated many men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how low testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 256-368-0333. That's 256-368-0333. Or go to HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com. That's HuntsvilleMen'sClinic.com.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship Game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back to the show, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You do get college football tonight.
Yeah, and when there's no headline for Bryce Young being hurt again, we'll say that again. It was Byron Young.
It was hour one.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's not. But there is going to be a police escort for Scott tomorrow because he has to get here at 8:30 to start the Woody Anderson Ford North Alabama High School Football Scoreboard Show after doing the MC at this great event for UAH.
Yeah, you don't forget tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, UAH basketball, downtown.
Great weather.
Kitty corner from Melt. They're going to have this stage.
Yep.
Or basketball court on the parking lot. And they're going to have a great time. 7 o'clock. It's all free. Don't worry about it. It's all free. The pep band's going to be there.
Is Scott going to play knockout? That's the big question.
No, Scott will not. Look, you remember back in high school and middle school, every high school PE teacher or something will tell you that the most fights that they see come from knockout.
Yeah. And this is not knockout basketball. This is knocking each other out.
Yeah, because of knockout in basketball, these kids knock each other out.
Right.
Yeah, they'll tell you that's where the most fights come from. But they'll have that, three-point shooting, or no,
probably some dunks.
They have some dunk contests going on down there. So it's all free. If you have kids, there'll be posters available. The players are going to sign autographs.
Meet these guys. Great program. Great kids.
Come down and see them. Yeah, it'll be fun. So grab some food downtown. Just come on down and watch it. But you do get South Carolina and South Carolina State tonight. Another chance for Shane Beamer
a
and company.
rescheduled game because of a Hurricane Ian.
Yeah, they need this game. Spencer Rattler needs this game because, frankly, they have not had a lot of great success.
No, they have
we talk
not
about
been
how
great.
Lane Kiffin has done well with the portal guys. I'm not saying Shane Beamer hasn't.
I'm just saying that
the road has been a
might
little
be able
tougher.
to beat them. I don't know really how good South Carolina is. They have not looked good.
You also get BYU and Utah State tonight as well. That's BYU's 19th ranked.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, if you want to catch the plane and head out to the Rose Bowl, I guarantee you plenty of tickets remain.
Oh, I'm sure.
UCLA